everyone. Happy Sabbath. I'm Deidre Leslie. I'm from the Good News Seventh-day Adventist Company. On my right, I have.
Julian Brill from the St. Peter's Seventh-day Adventist Church.
And on my left.
I have Tarek McLean from St. Peter Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Okay, and today we're going to be sharing the early teens lesson with you guys. But before we do so, let's pray. Heavenly Father, I want to thank you for bringing us here together so that we can share more about your word and our perspectives. I ask that everything that we read, that we put into practice so that we can become better Christians. In your name I pray, amen. Okay, so we're doing lesson 13. The title of the lesson is Kingdom of the Narrow Way. And the memory text is taken from Proverbs 4 verses 26 and 27. It says, "Ponder the light of your feet, and let all your ways be established. Do not turn to the right or to the left. Remove your foot from evil." Julian, what does that mean to you?
Well, don't ponder yourself from the left to the right. It's kind of like something like the story how it goes. But I ain't gonna spoil the story, so that's how it goes.
Okay, what about you, Terry?
I think is that you know you're sinning and you have to try to correct yourself. And those things and
So the story is about this guy who lived at the top of a mountain, and he wanted to hire a driver to take him down the mountain each day. So the first person that he interviewed, when they drove him down the hill, they passed like 8 inches away from the edge of the cliff, and he was like,
Don't forget the way of the road, they had no railings.
yeah, no
And
railings.
The way how he fall, son.
Yeah, so it had a steep drop off point, so like anything went wrong.
Does he imagine driving over there? Are you crazy, man? I'd rather walk now.
Yeah, so after that first person drove him down the hill, he was like, "Okay, I will call you back if I need to speak to you further." And then there was a second person that he hired, well, not hired, that he interviewed, and that person drove like 6 inches away from the edge of the cliff.
He was skilled.
Yeah.
Skilled. He even in the car, he was saying, "Oh, I was a skilled racer back then." Even telling the one who interviewed him like different types of turns he's taking, having a lot of confidence. But even though that much confidence he has, the same thing he told to the first one, told to the second one. I will call you if it's necessary.
And then the last person that he interviewed took him down the mountain on the safest path, so he didn't go on the path that didn't have a railing or that like had the steep.
They go nearer to the edge.
Yeah, so at the end of all of that, he was the one that got hired. And the reason was because he chose the safest way to get the guy down the mountain than taking the riskiest way to
The
get up.
interview. They interviewed him and asked him, "Why did you stay so far from the edge?" He told them, "There are many ways to go down the hill, but I chose the safe and a path that doesn't include me getting over or falling or getting someone hurt or getting myself hurt."
So basically the moral of this story was that in our Christian walk, like in our lives, we tend to let's say this is sin right here, we tend to want to come very, very close right here and try not to sin. So we try to get as close as possible to a sin without actually sinning. But that's obviously not the best way to go about it because there's no safety in getting closer to sin.
So they're going close. Try to see how close you can get to sin. You should be trying to see how close you get to God.
So yeah, that was the story. And now we're going to jump into the questions. The first one is, look at our topic and memory text for this week. What are you to do to remain faithful to God in a narrow way? So just a reminder, our memory verse is Proverbs 4, 26 and 27. Ponder the path of your feet and let all your ways be established. Do not turn to the right or the left. Remove your foot from evil. And the the title of the story is Drivers Wanted, and the lesson is Kingdom of the Narrow Way. So, Tyreek.
Oh, I think to stay, like, remain faithful to God in that way, you have to try to build a close connection to Him and try to, like, always have like a constant conversation, like, pray to Him each day and to stay far away from sin as possible.
I agree, because like it's the same thing with human relationships. The more you talk to a person, the more you spend time with them.
The more you build a connection.
Yeah. Julian, what do you think?
What I would say is don't be trying to see what you can do by yourself. Try to do stuff with God in your life. Like even in the story, they try, oh, let's see if I can drive so close to it and it's still not like falling over, oh I'm gonna get hurt. That's not how you gonna get hurt. That's showing nature, not trusting. You're just gonna put that person in danger, putting yourself in danger. If you're gonna show yourself that you love God, show it in a proper way. Don't be showing like, oh, if I go out there, praise God, oh, I will be. If I go baptize someone, oh, God will love me. Oh, if I do this and do that, you're just doing it because you want attention. You're not showing that you want God in your life. So that's our basic
Yeah, like if you really think about it, a narrow path is a path that's like really, really tight to get through. It's not like something that most people would take. It's not the easiest route to go. But I think to remain faithful to God in the narrow way would be, both of your points to spend more time with Him. Yeah, spend more time with Him, pray to Him, talk to Him, find out the things that He disapproves of and the things He approves of by reading the Bible and stuff like that. Okay, next question. Read 2 Corinthians 5:10. Why is standing up for what is right always the best course of action for you to follow? So let me get the verse. 2 Corinthians 5:10 says, "For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, so that each one may receive what is due for what he has done in the body, whether good or evil." Julian, why is standing up for what is right always the best action to take?
That's the simplest question right there. Why is standing up is always right? It's always right to stand up for yourself. Don't leave people push you. It's always right to stand up for the right things. Don't ever stand up for the wrong things. You have to know what you're standing up for. Like I can't just stand up and say, I want pizza for dinner. And next minute I want Doritos. It doesn't make sense. You have to know what you want. You have to know that you want God. You have to push and show that you want God, and God will see that you're trying, and God's gonna give you, okay, I see you're trying to be with me. Okay, I'm gonna bring you in the church. I'm gonna give you a title of pastor. Give you a title of I'll give you a title of a singer in church. To show my love that you've given me. Show that you all this time you've been working to get closer to me. Now I'm giving you a gift to show that I responded to you.
Okay, well, why do you think, okay, let's paint a picture. Let's say you see Tyreek is your good friend, your really good friend, and you see him like steal an apple or something from the fridge in somebody's house. And then the person comes like, who ate my apple? Like, well, why is the best thing to do to tell the person what happened? Or Tyreek, why would telling the person that you ate the apple the best decision to make?
Because I think they may like forgive you and it will more easier on them the line.
Well, that's true. I think most people respect you more if you tell the truth. But why is it the best thing to do? Because like you could have said, I don't know who did it, and then nothing happened.
Tell me what's the point of my life for? You tell a lie, then person catch you lie. Then you have to cover that lie. Then you have to cover that lie to another lie. It's just putting yourself in a mode. Okay. I know my mother catch me a lot of times stealing food from in the kitchen every day. I don't lie for sure. My mother asks me, who eat the fried chickens? Me. Who are the noodles? Me. I ain't got lie. Because when you tell the truth, you just, you telling the truth, so now that person's gonna trust you. Know and know that anytime they ask for anything, they can trust you by what they tell that you tell them.
I
It's the
think-
best thing.
I think maybe they would respect you more than trust you because, like, if that's the case, then I wouldn't leave apples around Tyreek, you know? But I would respect him for telling the truth. But, like, based on the verse, you know, the whole reason why standing up for what is right is always the best decision to make is because at the end of the day, we all have to stand before God and the good and the bad will be revealed, you know? So, why would you want the bad to be your reputation? Like, you want to get to heaven, right? So why would you stand up for what is not right? You know, that kind of way. Next question. They have some verses here that we need to read, but as we approach the end of time, God is looking for faithful children that will carry His message of love to a dying world. What does it mean to keep the faith of Jesus? So we have some verses. You can look for them. Yeah, so Tariq, you can look for 1 Peter 1:16. I will look for Revelation 14:12. Okay, so I'm gonna go with Revelation 14:12 while you're looking. Here is a call for the endurance of the saints, those who keep the commandments of God and their faith in Jesus. So some context for this verse. It's referring to the people who, when God is judging everybody, those who endure to the end, those who are on the right path and on the path of Jesus Christ, those are the people who will make it to heaven in the end. So, just some context. Did you find it? Okay, I'll look it. So, what's it? 1 Peter 1:16? Okay. It says, since it is written, you shall be holy, for I am holy. That's pretty straightforward. I think that's God speaking there. And then we can do one more. Revelation 8:4.
Revelation
8,
8, 4 to 2.
18 and 4. 18 verse 4, sorry. Then I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, lest you take part in her sins, lest you share in her plagues. Yeah. So the question is, what does it mean to keep the faith of Jesus? I think it means to stay on the right path, stay away from evil. Yeah. What do you think, Julian?
Stay faith. What I think it is to stay true to yourself. Stay true to God. Don't be saying that you are a Christian and you're out there doing stupidness. Like, your parents always tell you have respect for others. But you also have to have respect for yourself and for God. You can't go out there selling yourself out. You can't go out there disrespecting God. Like, what kind of person you are disrespecting your father? Y'all who disrespect your parents. Y'all know our parents will beat us for that stuff. So we all know not to do that. But how should we do that to God, our Father, the one who created us? Just because He's not here to beat us, that doesn't mean we have the right to disrespect Him. Then because okay, let's say I'm not Christian. Terry come up to me and say, oh, why you don't come to church? Church, God loves you. God wants to tell you everything He has done for you. I cannot go to him and say, oh, I don't care about God. First God. What are you talking about? Move for me. Like, I have one father. He died already. But I don't want to hear that. Like, what kind of thing is that? That's disrespect right there. You have to have respect for yourself, for others, and for God. So, for that myself, that's all I got.
What do you think, Terry?
I think keeping the faith of God, it's better to keep faith in God than not to keep it, because in the end, is God will be judging us. So it's best to keep a good reputation than a bad one. So that's what I think.
Alright, next question. Read Proverbs 14:12. How do you rate the external rewards of following Christ against the short-term benefits of following the crowd? Okay, this is a good question. Proverbs 14:12. Okay, it says, there is a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way to death. So, wow. Well, the verse is pretty straightforward. A lot of the times we as humans feel like we know what's best and we know the best course of action to take in situations. But we should always trust God to guide us in anything really, because our own opinions and what we think is right most of the time is not going to help us out. But the question is, how do you rate the external rewards of following Christ against the short-term benefits of following the crowd? Do you understand the question? You want me to try and break it down?
Try to break it down.
Okay. So when you serve God, you're blessed.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you won't face anything bad in life, because we live in a sinful world. But when you serve God, He will bless you. And when you follow the crowd, there may be some blessings, like you go out, you have a good time with whoever you drink with, and you think you're having a fun time and everything is okay. So in your eyes, you can say those are both benefits, but which one is the better one? The benefits from God, or the benefits from what you think is fun in this life?
I think the benefit of God, because what God gives you is eternal, and yeah, and the one we have is just temporary, what we have in this world and everything.
Yeah, very good. What about you, Julia?
This one, I know all of y'all thinking about this question, but I'm gonna answer for this one. We all want to blend in into the crowd. I'm over here wearing a Louis Vuitton belt, and my boy over there wearing a Louis Vuitton belt. Everybody wants to be in the newer days, wearing the new fashions, wearing nice shoes, nice clothes, everything. It's just how the world works. But at the same time, people are pushing themselves away from God. Because now I see trends out there on TikTok. Be honest, on TikTok. But these days, I see TikTok with head smashing challenge. People smashing people's heads on the floor. People's taking their teeth. I don't know what that is. Doing stupidness. I don't understand, because you're doing all of this thinking you're getting famous. You're just making yourself look stupid on the internet. You're not showing anybody anything. You should be saying, okay, let's all come together. Let's say, okay, let's talk about God, how God risked His life for us. God didn't risk His life to have people out there doing these stupid dances like TikTok. God died on the cross for us to live on, for us to worship Him, not for us to be doing walk around. Yeah, but you see my new Nike shoes, man, they looking drip over here. You put your foot on these, you will pay me $20 for them. Nothing like that.
I mean, some of these TikTokers, like, they make a lot of money from just posting videos, but like the rewards of those things cannot compare to what God will give you. Next question. They have a few passages here we have to read again, and the question is, which one of these Bible insight passages impresses you the most, and why did you choose it? So I kind of read through these already, but the one that I chose was Isaiah 30 verse 21, and it says, "And your ears shall hear a word behind you saying, this is the way, walk in it, when you turn to the right or when you turn to the left." For me, this one impressed me the most because it's basically assuring me that if I stay in God and if I listen for His voice, He will guide me in every step of the way. So I don't have to be like, oh, what should I do now? It will come naturally because God will always be speaking to me. And because we have that closeness, I will always hear His voice and know which path to take.
Okay, and I choose Psalm 16 verse 11, which says, "Thou wilt shew me the path of life. In thy presence is fullness of joy, and thy right hand there are pleasures of evermore." I think I understand from this verse is that God will always show you the life of the eternal life, and it's our choice to take it or not. And if you take it, our reward will be eternal and everything.
What about you, Julie? You want me to read one for you?
Yeah, because I ain't really good at reading Bibles.
It's okay. So for you, we can read Proverbs 9, verse 6. It says, leave your simple ways and live and walk in the way of insight. So insight, do you know what insight means?
I know. What is supposed to be?
So it's like wisdom then, or like more intelligence.
That's good because God wants us more intelligence for us to know more.
Remember, wisdom and intelligence is two different things. Intelligence is just having knowledge. Wisdom is knowing how to apply it.
Yeah, that's also true. But we don't also forget Satan knows the Bible too. Don't. Y'all think Satan don't know the Bible? He knows it well because he was in heaven before, but he came down, so he knows the Bible well. So don't think just because you say a few verses he doesn't know. He knows. So okay, let's go to the next question.
Read Romans 12 verse 2 and Philippians 4:13. We all know what Philippians 4:13 says. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And Romans chapter 12 verse 2, I believe I know that verse. Chapter 12 verse 2. Yeah. So do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind so that you can prove what is good and acceptable and perfect will of God. Have you ever wondered why 1 minute you can find yourself following Jesus and the next find yourself on the broad road doing your own thing?
Hey.
Every day.
Yep.
Yeah, it's hard as a Christian young person, especially in this time that we're living in with how society is. It's very easy to get caught up doing your own thing, and that's one of the things I still struggle with. Yeah, how about you?
I think all of us do that before, because all of us grew up in sin and everything like that. But I think we can overcome this by like reading the Bible more, spending more time with Him, and with our family, having family worship and everything. So that's kind of thing.
How about you?
For me, for me, yes, the obviously a lot. Because sometimes when it even comes to me to read a lesson, then anytime I try to read the story, everything just start coming up. I have to do schoolwork. I have to go clean up the house. I have to wash dishes. I have to do this, and then when it comes to the deadline, I have to like start rushing. But even though I don't rush, I still catch the word and what it means. So for me, even though I have like a lot of trials on me, I will still put all into reading it and preaching it too, because the more I preach, the more it reaches to people's out there, and people can understand what we Christians go through and how we get closer to our Father, our Christ. So for me, it is true. Every Christian have all trials and tribulations. Everyone has that one friend wanting them to take a little puff, take a little drink, just a little drink ain't gonna hurt you, just a little puff ain't gonna hurt you. Next minute you find yourself in a ditch, naked, and you know what happens to you. Got no money, your wallet missing, everything gone.
I think how we can overcome this, and this is advice for myself too, is to feed ourselves more spiritual things. Because I have a habit of like just doing my own thing, listening to whatever music I want to listen to and stuff like that. And what you don't feed dies, or like what you don't feed you starve. So if you entertain more worldly things, that's what your character will like portray. If you focus more on God, listen to more insightful music, more uplifting music, gospel music, and you read more positive things, more uplifting things, and that's where your desires will naturally be drawn to. So I think that's how we can overcome it. But it's hard, but don't give up. And the last question, read Philippians 1, 9 to 11. Let me find that. And the question is, what are some of the pitfalls that the broad way Road of Life is always advertising just to get you to leave Jesus' narrow way path.
Music,
Yeah,
TV shows,
most definitely.
Friends. We all love our favorite TV shows. We all watch Family Guy before. We all we all we all watch The Simpsons. We all watched that one time together. In the episodes and all the songs we listen, there's always a message behind it. Even in the cartoons I used to watch Family Guy, they always used to have a message. Some of them had a message like don't disrespect your parents. But for others, like Family Guy and The Simpsons, they will always have like a cryptic message. Like it will all like for The Simpsons, it will always have something about the future.
Mm-hmm.
Like what will happen, and it always used to happen. I always used to feel like, oh, how can you figure out the future? Like, y'all have a time machine? Like, can I borrow it for a few seconds? Like, how can y'all tell the future? And I started to realize now is not humans walking up, it's demons.
In the industry.
It's people. And even for the other ones, they have killing, shooting, cussing. I used to understand why is this these are supposed to be cartoons, but they have so much violence in it. I don't understand what is like what's the meaning of it? The meaning of it is to show people's they can do whatever they want because no God. Like even in one even in a family, I think I had an episode had a time when God like they say God didn't care if God was like facts, something like that.
Oh yeah. I
And
think I saw that.
it's just like it's telling people like God doesn't care about them, so they just do whatever they want. It doesn't make sense because what's the point going out there to kill somebody just to go to jail? You think I will sit down in a cell do nothing? You crazy? I can't do that. I too hate both. I too hate both. I have to go out there to go work. I have to go there to make money for myself to go eat, to drink. If I go to jail, what job behind me? Who behind me? Only place I know behind me is a garbage truck, for sure. And I ain't feel like picking up garbage for people. So, for that question itself, we have to know what we watching, or even the music we listen to. I listen to our rap music. And everyone listens to rap music. I know you listen to rap music. I do. Terry, don't even try. I know you listen to rap music. I ain't gonna lie, yes, I have listened to rap music. Well, I don't fully. 6 a week.
What about you, Terry?
I don't really listen to music because I don't really understand what it be saying, so I try not to listen to them. I just mostly like watch. I know what anime
Yeah.
like cartoons like that.
Okay.
I try to like watch the ones where like mostly talk about like romance and like things like that. But yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, I think a lot of the times what the industry or the Broadway Road of Life advertises is money and success in this world and all these kinds of things. Because on Instagram you see all these people, they're making so much money, they're driving big cars and they're the same age as you and you're like, what am I doing wrong? It's like, and then come to find out this person doesn't have God in their life, so what are they really gaining at the end of all of this?
Exactly.
But the verse, and this is our prayer for every one of us as well, and it is my prayer that your love may abound more and more with knowledge and all discernment, so that you may approve what is excellent, and so be pure and blameless for the day of Christ, filled with the fruit of righteousness that comes through Jesus Christ to the glory and praise of God. So yeah. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh,
Oh yeah, we got
Yeah,
three.
sorry.
We got three.
go ahead, Julie.
Wow. Heavenly Father, thank you for giving us this time to come here and learn more about you. I have learned a lot. I hope my friends learn a lot, and I hope we can keep learning more about you. So when the time comes for us to go home and see our Father, see the angels, see how everything is up there in heaven, to the beauty, peace, no cussing, no argument. Everyone can live happy, peace, and just worship you. God, thank you for giving us this strength today. Just let me pray. Amen.
Amen.
Adios.